Good afternoon, everyone. It's Beth Kozik from Elegant Greetings. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Grosse Pointe Woods, Michigan, and it's Saturday afternoon, so it is time for our catalog Copycat cards. I'm so glad you're here with me today. It's a beautiful Saturday in Michigan, and I hope you're having a great morning so far. So let's begin by looking at what the project was from last week. We used the Pretty Pumpkin stamp set and coordinating dies. This is one of the dies that cuts out this beautiful pumpkin. And then we just did some simple stamping, cut out the trio of pumpkins, added a little bit of a sentiment. This is that beautiful Nature's, I forget the name of it, but gorgeous designer paper. So just a really simple card, very pretty and elegant. And let's go ahead and select the winner from everyone who commented on Facebook and YouTube. I'm always very grateful for all of you who are watching. And let's see who our winner is today. Missy, again. Missy, I think this is 3 weeks in a row for you. So, wow, you are very lucky. So I will go ahead and put that in the mail to you. And thank you. If you're interested in receiving the chance at the project that I make each time, please be sure to leave a comment. That's the only way that I'll know that you're watching. And also a thumbs up, of course, is appreciated. All right, so today we're going to be playing again in our new mini catalog. This has all kinds of wonderful holiday-themed coordinating projects that will take us through Halloween and autumn and, of course, Christmas. So if you don't yet have your catalog and you would like one, please let me know. So today we're on page number 56. This is an absolutely gorgeous bundle, completely my style. I just love the look of it. It's a line art type set, so it does lend itself really nicely to coloring, which is one of my favorite things to do. And we're going to make this card right here. So let me show you the stamp set and the dies. So here's Nature's Harvest. It has just these gorgeous sentiments. I love the font. It's very elegant. And then 3 different flowery type stamps. So it is red rubber, looks like this. And there's a total of 7. And then the coordinating dies, oh my goodness, these are so pretty. I can't wait to play with these. I just got this, so I haven't really had too much time yet, but you can see there's like kind of a, maybe like a wheat looking type of a die. Here is sunflower or daisy kind of a look. This is this would be beautiful to make a negative, like to cut this out of black cardstock and then put that over like a background that's either used with our, like with our pastels, or I can just imagine what I'm going to do with that one. And then some other dies, and then there are 2 that are used to coordinate with the sentiments. So you can see how those would fit right over, and we would be able to cut those out. So we're going to use this larger one today. So I'll put this all aside. And I'll keep my catalog here on the side too, so I can watch what I'm doing. Running out of space on my table. Has it ever happened to you? It's like all of a sudden it just kind of closes in on me. Okay, so our products we're going to use is we are going to need a circle die. So I use the very largest one from our set of circle dies. If you don't have dies, and in a pinch, you can always just trace like a small bowl or a glass and hand cut out a circle. So of course our dies are the best, but that's an alternate way to do it. And then our inks are going to be our early espresso and our memento. Memento black is key if we're going to be using our blends markers. This is what we use when we're using our alcohol products, because it won't smear at all. And then of course, this is brand new. This is our diamond weave ribbon. Look at how pretty that is. It reminds me of like a crochet or macrame. It is really pretty, a really deep ivory color. So I have about 13 inches of that ready to go. And then our blends. For those who aren't aware, our blends markers, these are alcohol-based markers. They now come in a 2-pack. So this particular color is Old Olive. So you can see there's a lighter version and a darker version, and they come as a two marker set now, so just for $9. And we have pretty much all of our palette of colors available in the blends. So we're using Old Olive, And then I have Poppy Parade. And then our yellow is our, you can see the name is right here. So that's Dark Daffodil Delight. And this one is the Light Daffodil Delight. And I put a piece of washi tape on the end, which is the brush end. These have two sides. So one end is a little bit bigger. It's more of a brush with a very pointy end to it. And then the other side is a little more of a nubby side. So two different ways to use these. If we have more of a larger area that we want to color, we might want to use the brush end. A little smaller area, we'd use kind of the nubby end. So I just put a piece of washi tape on the side that is the brush end. That way I'm always easily can find which end I want to use. We also have a dark smoky slate, and this one is crumb cake, dark crumb cake. Okay, so I'll put those aside for a moment. And then our cardstock is our brand new soft succulent, one of our beautiful new in colors. So this is 11 by 4 1/4, and it's scored at 5 1/2. And then I cut a piece of this gorgeous new, let's see, this is from the Harvest Meadow Designer Series paper. These are so pretty. They're all beautiful fall colors and patterns. I am just in love with these. I love this one, which is kind of like a wheat looking one. So very pretty. So that's called Harvest Meadow paper. And then we have a scrap of crumb cake and also a piece of our basic white. All right, so let's get started with our stamping. I always like to do that first. No particular reason, just kind of my preference is how I do it. All right, so what I've done already ahead of time is I took my circle die and I cut out a circle from that. Okay, so that's ready to stamp. So I'm going to take, these are the two stamps we're going to use, this beautiful daisy and then our sentiment. It says, sending healing thoughts, may nature's beauty bring peace to your soul. So this is going to be a really nice sympathy card, or even a cheer you up kind of a card. So first I'm going to take my Memento ink, and again this is the ink that we use when we're going to color with our blends markers. So I'm just going to make sure I get all of that inked up real well. Again, it's a line art type stamp, which means it's a hand drawn. I'm sure the artist who created this drew this by hand. I often wonder what the artists who create our stamps, what they do, what their process is, because this is absolutely beautiful. All right, that looks inked, very, very well inked. And I have a piece of scrap paper underneath because I know I'm going to go off of this piece of paper a little bit with my stamp being bigger than my paper. So we're just going to give that a push. We don't ever want to rock, we just want to press straight down. There we go. All right, so that's ready to go. And then I did go ahead and die cut from my crumb cake paper here. I ran that through the cutting and embossing machine to get this die cut. So this is what we're going to stamp our sentiment on. So I'll do that next. And I'm using Early Espresso ink. So I'm just going to ink that up. Now with these smaller stamps, sometimes I like to just go on my scrap paper just to give a little practice to make sure it's very straight. And again, we're just going to press down and then lift right up. We don't ever want to rock. So that looks very, very straight. And now I'm going to attempt it on my paper. We can always flip our paper over, although some dies, if you notice here, it kind of has like a really pretty beveled edge that it cut into it. So if I were to flip that over, not so pretty on the other side. So I'm going to do my best to make sure I get it right the first time. If not, I can always just cut out another one. So I don't want to get my head in the camera here, but I need to make sure that I can look straight through my block and line this up. Let's see how we did. Oh, a little bit crooked. Okay, so I did cut a second one. Now the pressure's really on. I have to get this right. So I know I have to move it down just a smidge to get that to fit. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Much better. Okay. Second try is a charm. All right, so let's get our inks out of the way. And next I'm going to show you how to color with the blends. So I've done this in the past, but I just wanted to take some time and really show the technique because it is so, so pretty. All right, so I'm going to bring all of those in here. Now the blends will bleed through our cardstock just a little bit. I'm going to pull my chair up. So you always want to have a piece of scrap paper underneath because it is going to bleed through just a smidge, okay? So I think I'm going to start with the yellow. So I have both of my yellows here. I think I'll just work with the darker one. And again, those two ends, I want to use that nubby end. So I'm going to pull this into the frame here. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. And I'm just going to give kind of like a little flicking motion here. I'm going to add this yellow to all the leaves and stems. So you can see I'm just kind of randomly coloring that. If we go out of the lines a little bit, it is not a big deal. Okay, and then we always want to keep them covered when we're not using them. So I'm going to cover that right up. And then I will take the nubby end of my old olive, and I'm just going to go right over. And then I'm going to go back and blend. So that's why these are called blends, because we're able to blend colors together. So of course the coordinating, like the light and the dark olive could be blended together, but we can also blend different colors. So like on these flowers in a minute, I'm going to show you that I'm going to add that Poppy Parade, and then some of the crumb cake and a little bit of the yellow. So now you can see it's kind of looks a little sketchy. So now I'm just going to go back and in like a circular motion with that little nubby end, is I'm just going to blend these colors together with that yellow. Actually, you know what? I think I'm going to use I'm going to go to the light old olive and then just kind of blend everything together. So I still want to make sure that I keep the two colors visible, right? A little bit of that yellow in the stems. But what I'm doing when I'm blending is softening all of these kind of flick marks that I made. And these are different than a regular magic marker in that they don't leave any like lines, right? So see, I can soften all of these. So it's just a whole different effect than a regular magic marker. So there, got out of the lines a little bit here, but that's okay. Okay, so I'll pull this up a little closer. So can you see how the colors are all blending together? All right, next I'm going to work on the flowers. So again, I'm going to take my daffodil. I think I'll take the lighter daffodil this time. And then what I want to do is just kind of give a little bit of color on all of these tips. And again, it's okay to leave a little bit of white space because we can always go back and fill that later. All right, and then here comes the fun part. This is the color. So I'm going to first take my lighter Poppy Parade, and I think I'll use the brush tip, which is the end that has the longer, pointier tip. And then I'm just going to go ahead and flick. Look how pretty that is. It just makes it pop. And again, I'm going to be a little more careful here with what I'm doing color-wise, making sure I stay in the lines. All right, and then I'm also going to add some yellow up top here. I use the brighter, just color that in. And then here comes the fun part, even funner part, I should say. I'm going to take the darker Poppy Parade and just give a little bit of flicking downward from the center. down into those petals. And we can also color over and over and over on our paper without having it shred, because that is the alcohol part of it. It dries super quickly. And like a magic marker, if I were to do that with a marker, it would just shred the top of the paper, the surface of it. Okay, the next step I want to do is add just a little bit of this crumb cake to give a little more shadow up at the top here. And then I'm going to go back with my yellow and kind of blend all of these tips in with that poppy, so it doesn't have a line at all. All those lines that where the two colors come together are softened. Isn't that pretty? So I'm going to do that with each of the flowers, but look at how gorgeous that is. And it only takes a couple of minutes. So let me show you the finished one that I did. Okay, well, after we do the flowers, there is one more step here, which I'm going to show you. Something fun to do with your blends. You can also do this with a Wink of Stella or even one of our Stampin' Write markers. So if you open up the pointy end, the brush end, and we're going to flick some color onto the circle. All we have to do is take that end and we're just going to flick it in the cap. And that's going to create these little speckles. So I want to put some of those all over my circle. See how those are added? Isn't that fun? So that's just a little trick. It just adds some character and dimension to our project. So let me show you the one that I finished. Here it is all done. Isn't that gorgeous? I just love the look of that. Completely love this stamp set. Okay, so I think we're ready to assemble now that that part is done. Oh, one last thing. I think I cut maybe 13, 14 inches of this beautiful ribbon. And I noticed in the catalog that their ribbon is very, very thin. So if we were to take this off of the spool and make a bow, it's gorgeous ribbon, but like I said, it's like kind of like macrame, crochet. So it is pretty thick. And then we were to tie a bow. This bow would be pretty thick and substantial. So I think what they did is they just took the ribbon and cut it in half vertically. So I'm going to finish doing this. And it just kind of adds a little bit of a nubby texture to it, a little bit of interest. So I'm just going to finish cutting this right in half. And then I'm going to tie my bow from this. There we go. Actually, I'll get two bows from this. So now I have a piece that's kind of like frayed, very uneven, but it's going to be much less bulky. So I'm just going to tie a bow. And again, I think I did like 13 or 14 inches or so. Let's see. There we go. So it's a little more floppy. I kind of like that look. Isn't that pretty? All right, so there's our bow. And then let's see, what else do we need to do? We just need to assemble. We need some dimensionals for our sentiment. And where's our sentiment? Here we go. So I'll put a few on the back of there. And then we can put our card together. All right, and I'm going to use my green Tombow liquid glue again. I've started using this recently and I really like using it. Just a little tiny bit all the way around the edges. So, oh, there's one thing I forgot, which they did. Let's see if I can do that without getting glue all over everything. Okay, so what they did is they took the end. Oh, I think I'm going to have to wipe this off. Let me grab a Kleenex. All right. That's the nice part about this glue. Just a little bit goes a long way, and we have a little wiggle room because it doesn't dry immediately. All right. So So let's see if I can show you what they did. They took a little bit of a rip kind of in the edge here. Just kind of adds to the, I don't know, shabbiness of it. I don't know, shabby chic kind of a look. There's another one on this side, just a little rip in the paper. And then this bottom corner is sort of folded up like that. That's fun. I like that. All right, now I'm going to go back and put my glue back on. All right, and then we'll get that right in the middle here. Very pretty. I love the tone on tone with the soft succulent paper. That is gorgeous. And then I'll put a little bit of glue. Oh, see how the blends bled through there? So just always keep that in mind when using them, to have a scrap paper below. And then that's going to go here. Oh wow, I love that. And then we need, I think maybe a glue dot for our bow. Let's get that put on here. Glue dots are the best. And then that goes right about here. My bow is a little big. Let's see if I can make that a little smaller. Okay. That looks good. And then the last step is our sentiment. Now, that is, like I said, a little bulky with that ribbon. So what we can do is we can double up on our dimensionals. So I'm going to put another row right on top of the row that was the first row. Okay, so that raises this up even higher. And then we're going to go ahead and stick that on. If I can get these off of here. There's 1 and 2 and 3. Okay, so see how it made a double? Just gives a little bit more height. And then I think we're ready to put that about here. Oh, so pretty. I love this card. Wow. I'm going to cut these down just a smidge. And then we'll fold our card. Okay, there we go. Wow, isn't that gorgeous? I love this card. So, so pretty. That ribbon adds just the nicest texture. Wow, really pretty. So here's the catalog version. And then here's my version. Gorgeous and gorgeous. Well, I hope you enjoyed that today. Again, this is the Nature's Harvest and the coordinating dies, and the bundle is $53. So that would earn a free Celebration product. So for those who are not familiar with Celebration, every $50 or $100 purchase earns a free Celebration product from our Celebration catalog. And there are so many cute things in here. So keep that in mind. If you're interested, I would be happy to help you with your order. And if you have any questions about using the blends at all, feel free to ask. So I hope you enjoyed the project today. Have a great day, everybody, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.